Hey folks, Ben France here with Benjamin France Music, back with another episode or another update on the Samick by Valley Arts Pro guitar project. I had a short video put up a little bit earlier that showed me going to get the top cap of flame maple resawed, and now I'm back in the workshop and working on getting that cut down to size and getting the two halves of it book matched and glued together so then it can be laminated at the top. So we'll kind of show the process as it goes along here, and I hope you all enjoy it, and I hope that you find it useful. And as always, I would love it if you would click the like button, give me a thumbs up on it, subscribe to the channel, and make sure you ring the bell for notifications, because there's a ton of content going to be coming down the pike here in the pretty much immediate future. This is going to be an ongoing thing for me moving forward. So here we go. Let me flip the camera around and we will take a look and show you what we're doing as we're doing it. I cut this down to size. Here's the flame maple. This is the back side of the top that's going on the guitar. I'll flip it over where you can see the book match size. I'm not going to line up perfect because I've got it just sitting on the table saw at the moment, because this is kind of my workbench until I build a workbench. But so here's kind of what the flame maple top, the two halves of it, what's going to look like. That piece up there, farther away from the camera, is going to be the flame maple top that's going to go on this, because it's got more interesting figuring on it there with all the horizontal figuring. And then this bottom piece we're going to keep for later use that I can use for top on another thing. So first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to run this through using my table saw sled, my crosscut sled. Going to cut that on that far line on each piece. That way it's just down to the one part and a little bit easier. Then we're going to make sure the two edges are perfectly smooth, and then we're going to glue them up, clamp them, and let them sit overnight. So let me get the camera repositioned here, and we'll be ready to run this through the table saw to shorten these boards. Okay, so here we go. Hopefully I don't cut my tripod in half. We'll find out what happens here in a moment, but we're ready to run this guy through and see how this works out for us. All right, folks, so there we go. Cutting everything down so the boards were completely square and they were the same size. Yeah, I jumped off camera there for a moment. You probably noticed that was because I was making sure I had some leeway to give with the body so I'd have enough overhang to route it and get it the shape where I needed it to be, but still take a little bit of that excess off that didn't need to be on there. So the edges are straight. So here we go. Let me flip the camera around. You can kind of see what these two panels look like that I'm getting ready to just real lightly sand the edges of them and then clamp and glue them up and get them ready to go. So let's take a look at it real quick so you can see what it looks like. So here are the two boards. I've got them. This one's got just a little bit of cupping going on. I'm going to need to work on that with some heat, which I can do. But I've got the two of them where the edges are even, top and bottom, where they're the same size boards. That line, that joint is pretty good, honestly, from where it was Bookmatched, where the guys at OP Hardwoods resawed it. I don't know if I'm going to do anything with that or not. I may just real lightly go over the edge of inside edge of each of those boards, maybe with some 220 sandpaper and a long sanding block, just to try to make sure they're perfectly square to each other and so there's no gap or as minimal gap as possible. But so there we go. There are the boards getting ready to start the clamp up and glue down. So we'll look at that here in just a moment or two so you all can see what that looks like as well. And here you go. I've got 5 bar clamps on it because I want to try to do even pressure. I'm going to slide a couple of them up here more towards the end because I want to make sure I have even pressure all the way around on it. So let me move that here. Set the camera down for just a second. Let's see here. Flip this guy around over to the side so you can see what's going on. Yep, and we're catching some cardboard is what was going on there. It had nothing to do with the clamp. That's kind of what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. So let's get this guy back. Just get generally where they need to be. At the ends of the board, at the end of the board, about the midpoint of the board, about midway between that and the other end, about midway between that and the other end. Okay, so now time to tilt them up, put a bead of glue, or put glue on each side here, get them lined up perfectly well. I'm going to put a clamp laterally across the top like this. And we're going to use that guy to flatten that guy down. And we'll probably put just a little piece of cardboard or a little piece of paper or something on the top. Actually, probably just do a little piece of tape once I get the glue on it. And then we will tighten this lateral clamp down first. So it's setting flat on that board. It keeps them together and keeps them stuck together. Then we'll tighten the side clamps. Probably start with the middle and then work our way out from there and make sure we don't have any slipping or anything on this. And then we let it set for about 24 hours before we do anything else with it to make sure that that joint is completely solid and glued. So let me grab the tape, let me grab the glue, we'll get ready to do this. We're going to put a bead of glue all the way across here. And we're going to, this is a thin enough piece, it's only about 1/4 inch thick, that we don't want to overdo the glue. I'll probably wipe off some excess before we put them together. So this guy on here, spread our glue good. We'll get excess off the top and bottom, which we're already starting to get some excess on it. Obviously, I used way more glue than needed, but I'm good at that, and I'd rather do that and have a little extra scraping on the back side of things. Him over. We're going to put a bead of glue on him real quick. So, take this guy, set him down. I got a little bit of glue on the face that I'm not real proud of or real excited about, but that's okay. We can take care of that. And a little bit, because we're going to have to sand it down a little bit anyway. So we get these edges lined up the best we can. And let's do a little bit of this action just to make sure that our glue kind of gets where it needs to be. And let's get that lateral clamp first. And for anybody watching this, this is my first Bookmatched top I'm building, so if I'm doing something wrong, feel free to tell me, hey, you should have done it this way or you should have done it that way. I'm not going to take offense at all, I promise, because I only want to improve with this stuff because my goal is to eventually go from modifying pre-existing guitars into actually building my own guitars. Not my goal, that is what I'm going to do. So anyway, that being said, though, obviously I have no problem. I do not have any problem with people giving me feedback if you see something that maybe I could have done a little bit better. So, I'm not going to do that yet because I want to start squeezing it together a little bit first. So let's get this clamp in the middle where it needs to go. And let's start clamping him together a little bit. There we go. That's going to Just want to do enough that I feel it, decide that it's gonna stop moving. And then I'm done. That's good, just getting just a little bit of squeeze out there. Not too much. Get these edges to where they're lined up. Let me do the end one up here real quick. Same thing, want some squeeze out coming through. Don't want it to slip though. Go over to the other side. We will check our end over here. We are not 100% on joint, but we are really close. So we're gonna move this clamp just slightly as well, where it's right where it needs to be on the edge. Let's start tightening that guy down too. Till I feel it start to decide it's not gonna move anymore either. And that's gonna be right about there. So we're in a good spot there. Our lines are lined up where they need to be, so I'm going to run this rag across the squeeze out that's already popped up here. Then we're gonna clamp the other two, and I'm gonna save the lateral clamp for the end. Hopefully that's not a mistake, but we will find out. Because we want a good amount of clamping force on this. We don't want it so much that it tries to start puckering or bowing, because that would defeat our purpose. Let's see, we're pretty well lined up there where we need to be, so let's get this guy till it, okay, it's got force against it. Tighten our end clamp a little bit more because it moved a little bit from the other clamps pulling on it. So, there we go on that guy. Our edges are where they need to be. Let's get this guy here. And get that out of the way temporarily so we can tighten this one down too. Get him about where he needs to be. And you know, theoretically, I might not even need that lateral clamp running parallel with this board, but I want to do that because I just like the idea of making sure something's keeping it from puckering up here in the middle. I don't want it doing that. So now we are going to, now that we know our lines lined up, we're not worried about that. Gonna wipe off that squeeze out one more time that's in there, that's popping up. And yeah, there's gonna be squeeze out on the back side too, but I'm not as worried about that. And we are going to put a small, or put a tape line down the board, just basically to prevent the squeeze out from trying to glue the clamp to this board, because obviously that wouldn't be good. And we are pretty well set, we're squared. So now we're gonna take the final clamp, we're going to lateral it, like I said, and we want it right on that joint, which I can see it here. And we're going to pull it up here as well to get as close as we can. And now we're going to tighten this guy. There we go. At this point, we are solid. Looks like we are now where we need to be, folks. We don't have any weird bowing going on. It's solid all the way across. So now we should be good to let this guy sit until tomorrow morning. And then at that point, we will have, not really a book-matched top yet, but we'll have a rectangle of wood that will shortly be a book-matched top for this guitar. All right, I hope that was helpful and or useful for some of you out there. If you did find this to be a useful video, please consider subscribing to the channel. I'm going to have a ton of content coming up here. Predominantly guitar related, but also some electronic and ambient music related as well. And there will be more videos on this project as it unfolds. And then on the next guitar build, which is going to be a scratch build, building the whole body blanket, everything, as opposed to modifying an existing guitar. So I would love it if you'd subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up for this video, that would be awesome, and ring the bell for notifications. I'm really trying to grow the YouTube channel to where it'll be something that I can maybe start making a little bit of monetization off of, because I am, if you follow me on Instagram, you may have already seen this, going solo work-wise here in about 2.5 weeks, where the day job is going away, and so I'm going to be relying solely on teaching guitar, counseling because I am a licensed, or I'm in the process of becoming a licensed counselor, and doing YouTube videos and this sort of thing, and then eventually getting into some custom guitar builds as well. So I hope you all found this helpful and useful, and I will be back with a new video soon. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.